Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to this 60-minute intermediate vinyasa practice. And today we're going to head towards Pincha Mayurasana, the forearm balance. And I've got some tips and tricks and little insights that I think can help us to get into the posture, which is super tricky. So hopefully you've got some energy in the shoulders today. I really appreciate your support on this channel. Every subscription lets me know that you're kind of enjoying this. So keep on going with that. I really do appreciate it. All right, let's start in a seated position, shall we? Nice tall seat, get comfy. Let's go from there. Once you've found any comfortable seated position, shut down the eyes. Just take a moment to settle into stillness. Make sure your lower back is somewhat elevated so that the belly space can open in preparation for some deeper breathing, but we'll just take a pause here and just settle in. In this seated position, start to create two qualities that we're going to carry through the rest of the practice. Here, create some level of effort, some level of accountability to the posture itself and therefore to yourself. So here, lifting the lower back, crown of the head lifting, and there's that sense of effort in the structure of the posture. It doesn't have to be maximum, but there's some amount going into it. And in harmonious balance to that, you start to relax a little. So as much effort as you're creating, you bring equal parts of ease. So here, firstly, relaxing through the superficial tension of the body, the shoulders, the jaw, the eyes. Letting the belly space loosen off. And beginning to center your attention within your own body. See if you can take a moment to kind of pull back the lens on yourself. Just get a bit of an overview of what kind of mood you're in. What kind of state of mind is there? What are your energetic levels? Just getting a bit of a feel for yourself to tune into yourself. And your own sense of well-being becomes the highest priority here. And to achieve that, you need to keep your eye on yourself so that you're attentive, caring, you're able to respond to whatever's happening in the body at any given moment. And to head towards this state of well-being, first tool and the primary tool that we use throughout the practice is the breath. So here, start to become aware of your breathing. And that awareness is the embodied sensation of it, the temperature of the breath. It's a little cool as it comes in, it's warm as it goes out. There's texture, there's depth, there's duration, all these qualities to the breath that really can only be acknowledged and found out when you tune in to that more sensitive level of it. In the same way that we created the structure of the posture with effort and ease, we do the same to each and every action throughout the practice, and here no different for the breath. So as we start to integrate some effort with the breath, we start to breathe a little bit deeper. Start to breathe into the belly space, let it expand and fill. Start to breathe out just a little bit slower. And then repeating in that cycle. A little deeply, out a little slowly. So you've got the effort going. Now make sure there's equal parts of ease. So there's a gentleness that comes to the breath. Try and think of the breath as being delicate. In fact, your entire body as being delicate. Start to move into a breathing pattern 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out. Very simple breathing practice, but very profound as well. Regulating a lot of the systems of your body here. So especially your nervous system is going to respond nicely. Breathing in for 6, out for 6. Equalizing the inhale to the exhale. Heart rate will regulate. And since you're coordinating the mind into the task of the breath, naturally, your attention is centered within yourself, in the moment. I'm going to leave you in silence for just a few rounds here. 6 in, 6 out. Smooth, delicate, deep. After your next exhalation, drop the count, but maintain the breath, maintain the pace, maintain the feeling of it. And that sense of attentive care is really a quality you want to integrate into the most challenging of postures in the practice, especially in those times. Keep the breath as really the priority of the practice. And we'll see if we can build some postures around the breath. So think of it as a central part of the alignment of each posture. Integrating both the internal space with the kind of grosser body, the external space. Let's keep the breath moving as we blink open the eyes, roll straight over the knees and come into cat-cow, onto all fours, tabletop position, and start to move straight into it. So as you inhale, press the belly down, puff the chest forward and look up. And on your exhale, arch through your upper back, really raising through the spine. And we'll carry on like that. The inhale presses the belly down. The exhale arches up through the spine. Now, you keep on going, finding your breath as your timing, synchronous movement with the breath. Really noticing that your tailbone starts the movement for the rest of the spine to follow. So getting a tilt in the articulation of the pelvis up and down. I mean, given that structure, you might then throw some much more organic movements into it, some little side bends if you like, some full body rotation in a circular movement. We'll just take a couple more breaths here, kind of moving and mobilizing the information highway of the body, your spine. Just take 1 or 2 more rounds now, dip to the arch. And then just for a couple of breaths here, walk the hands out in front of you, take the hands about as wide as the mat, and drop the chest down towards puppy pose. I know it's probably a strong shape to be in kind of straight off the bat here, but take some time with it. We're not going to be here for too long, but approach conservatively and gently. Just a breath or 2 more. And then walking the hands back underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, and lift the hips up into downward facing dog. And as you come up into dog, have a little bit of a play with it, pedaling out the legs, shifting the hips around, even broadly swaying the hips from side to side, dropping the heels from one edge of the mat to the other, so from side to side, left to right. Breath or 2 more here now. And then starting to walk the hands back towards your feet into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Just letting your upper body really hang here, dangle, relax through the neck. A little bit of body weight shifting left to right now. We'll take just a couple of breaths. And gently roll up through your spine, up through to standing. Reach the arms up at the top and catch opposite elbows above your head. In this shape, go ahead, squeeze your butt and your belly and lean over to your right into a big side bend. Just 2 breaths here. Back through to center and over to the other side. A couple of breaths, they're long breaths at that. Keeping your right butt cheek especially tight here. Breath or 2 more. Back through to center, raise the arms and gently fold hands to the floor. Walk the hands out to plank position, shoulders above your wrists, find that distance and then draw the hips back and up into downward facing dog, and we'll do that a few more times. High plank, rolling plank, coming forward. A little bend into the knees now as you slide the hips back and up, really tilting the tailbone in that process, and we come straight into plank, high plank, and a little bend. Rolling the hips up and back. Keep on going 2 or 3 more rounds on your own. Make sure your upper back is rounded and arched in the high plank position. Maybe 1 more round from here now. And as you come into high plank, lower your knees and come all the way down until you're flat onto the floor. Arriving there, reach your arms back by the side. Really try and keep the feet down. Go ahead and lift the chest up, lift the arms up. Exhale, lower down. We'll do a few more of them on your own. Keep on going, moving with your breath, lifting and lowering. As you're doing this, keep your thighs really tight. Squeeze your shoulder blades back as you're lifting. And maybe just 1 more round now. Lift and lower. And as the chest comes down, either push up through plank or go back through tabletop and into downward facing dog. And again, immediately walking the hands towards the back of your mat into a forward fold. Bend into the knees and roll up through the spine into standing. Reach up and stretch up nice and high. Palms touch above the head now. Again, over to the right into a side bend. Just 1 breath now. Back through to center. Over to the other side. Back through center and exhale to fold. Now, as you arrive in the fold, take a halfway lift to lengthen out your spine. Left hand stays down and right hand comes up into a twist. Big bend into the left knee here. Only here for a couple of breaths. And switch. Right hand down, inhale. Left hand coming up. Twist in the other side. Again, there's some length in the spine forward towards the top of your mat for just 1 more breath here probably. And as the left hand comes down, walk the hands out to plank position. Now stick with me here. In plank, take the feet a little bit wider than what they are. Just going to work a little bit of body tension. Go ahead and lift the left big toe to hover just off the floor. Keep the legs stiff and straight and come up onto the right fingertips. If you want to reach your right hand out, you can go for that. Otherwise, stay on the fingertips. A breath or 2 more. And then set the hand and foot down. Pull back into down dog momentarily. High plank again for the other side. So now the right big toe hovers. The left thigh should be doing quite a bit of work here. Come up onto the left fingertips. Maybe the left hand reaches straight forward here. Take your time with it. And keep that body tension nice and firm. We'll take a breath or 2 more. And then hand and foot down. Drop your knees. Lower all the way down until you're flat. And again, arms back by the side. Legs are lifting this time too. So inhale. Chest, arms and legs lift. Exhale to lower. Just 2 more of those. Inhale up. Exhale, release with care, control. Last one. Inhale up. Nice slow release onto the floor. Hands underneath the shoulders. Push up through plank if you can. And back into downward facing dog. And once we're there, go ahead and start to walk up towards the top of your mat. Feet towards your hands now. Roll up the spine through to standing as you get there. Reach up. And then into chair pose with wide knees or wide feet. So hands to press, hit the butt down. Once we're here, go ahead and lift the heels up. Raise the arms up. And then lower your butt down to your heels. Lifting the chest. Keeping the heels super, super lifted. 2 more maybe breaths here. Now keeping the heels lifted, a little bouncy here. Go ahead and stand all the way up. Standing up, a little ballerina point. Hold for a breath at the top. And And then keeping the heels lifted, interlace your hands behind your lower back. Roll back the shoulders, and then lower the heels to fold forward. Hands lift up over the head. And once the hands are lifting, try and pull your shoulders down away from your ears. So hands up, shoulders down. And we'll take 2 to 3 more breaths there. And release. Hands coming down to the floor. Halfway lift to lengthen, flatten out your back. Step back to plank position, shoulders above your wrists. And again, hold for a sec. Take the feet a little bit wider than what they are. Drop the heels over to the right. Once I get there, tap your right knee to your right elbow. So your left foot is flat, right knee, right elbow. One big breath. Step the foot back. Turn the heels over to the other side. Left knee to left elbow. Little linger there. And then foot back. Heels up. Drop the knees. Lower all the way down until you're flat. This time, interlace the hands behind your lower back. Again, chest and legs together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Point the toes. 2 to go. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, up. And exhale, release. Coming back through tabletop or up through plank and into down dog. And as soon as you arrive in down dog, we come through a couple of rounds of sun salutation. So lift the heels, bend the knees, and walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to stand all the way up. Reach up nice and big. And exhale to fold straight back down, hands to the floor. Halfway lift, flat back. Step back to plank position. Shift a little body weight forward as you bend the elbows into chaturanga. Up dog, pull the chest through the arms. And into down dog, lifting the hips up and back, nice and gently there. And take 2 to 3 breaths there. And as you're ready, feet back towards the hands, walk, step, or jump, top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, flat back. Exhale to fold in. Standing up, reach up, nice and big. One more round now. Exhale to fold forward. Halfway lift and either step or jump back into chaturanga. Bent elbows. Pull the chest through the arms into up dog. Really pinch the shoulders back. And then lifting the hips up into down dog. Breath or 2 more there in dog. And returning to the top of the mat. Feet towards the hands, walk, step, or jump. Halfway lift, inhale, flat back. Fold. Inhale, stand, reach up, nice and big. It's going to change here. Exhale to chair, feet together, bend the knees, sink the butt. Turn to your right and hook the left elbow around the knee. Knees stay together and in line with each other. So the tendency is to bring the left hip forward, try not to, or the left knee. Sit the butt down. Breath or 2 more. And inhale to stand up. Reach up nice and tall, all the way up. Back into chair for the twist on the other side. So our elbow, the right elbow hooks around the knee as you sit the butt down here. Couple of breaths. Weight in the heels here. Breath or 2 more. And inhale to stand. Reach up. Exhale, fold forward, hands on the floor. Now, the left foot steps back, runner's lunge. Puff the chest out on fingertips, and then lift the chest just off the thigh into arrowhead. In this arrowhead, catch the hands behind the lower back, roll back the shoulders, lift the fist a little here for just 1 more big breath. And then lower the back knee down, lift the chest up, keep the bind, squeeze your left butt cheek pretty tight. Lift the chest, and it might feel like you're pushing back out of the lunge a little. That's all right. Now sink the hips. And take 2 to 3 more breaths here. 1 more big breath. Inhale, raise the arms up over the head. Prayer touch above the head. Take the prayer behind the neck. Pinch your elbows together and take just 1 or 2 more breaths. Again, the left butt cheek is still tight. And as you bow forward now, Hook the left elbow around the front knee, hands coming together, or staying together rather. And in this shape, look down to the floor. Take your time with this. Lift the back leg to straighten it out. Nice and slow. Once it is straight, firm up the back thigh. Elevate the chest a little and push into the twist. Right hand pushes into the left one. Just a breath or two more here now. And releasing the hands to the ground. Straighten through your front leg into pyramid. It should be a long stance here, a little uncomfortable. Just a breath or two. And we'll move through this again. So bend the front knee, arrowhead. Lift the chest, sweep the arms back. Try and interlock the fingers. Roll back the shoulders for one breath there. Lower the back knee, keep the bind. Big breath at the top, lift the chest, sink the hips. Arms up. Prayer touch. Take it behind the neck, one big breath to pinch the elbows to the side of the head. And into the twist. Hook your left elbow around the front knee. Tuck the back toes. Look to the floor. Lift the back leg to straighten it out. Extra breath or two there. Hands to the floor. Straightening through the front leg into pyramid. Inhale, bend the front knee. Sweet release is coming now. Hands on the floor. One movement to wild thing if you can. So this right foot, the front foot, steps back, up and over the left leg, turning the hips. Right hand raises up. Squeeze your butt, really lift the hips here. One more big breath now. Go slow on this transition, stick with me. Come back somewhere towards side plank, stacking the legs, right leg on top of the left. Bring your right forearm down to the mat. Turn your heels to the other side and find forearm side plank the other side. So left hand up. Breath or two more here. And then full forearm plank. Left forearm comes down. Pretty immediately here, walk the feet in to dolphin pose. Walk the feet in. Pull the chest back and really try and hike up the hips, lift the hips. But once the tailbone's lifting, sink the heels, pulling the chest back. Now, a little bit of work to do. Stick with me. You can do this. Right leg raises up. In one movement, high plank, straighten out your elbows, come forward and curl your knee to your nose. Pull it in. Two more times. Punch the leg back up, drop down to the forearms. Inhale, high plank, knee to the nose. Last one. Elbows. High plank, knee to the nose. Now, this time, keep the arms straight. Just send the right leg back. Come through a flow. Maybe the knees want to drop. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Lift the hips. Woo. Get off the hands. Walk, step, or jump to the top of the mat straight away. Feet up. Chilling out in the forward fold for maybe 3 or 4 more breaths. And then roll up, round up, all the way through to standing. Reach up and stretch up nice and big. And exhale to fold straight back down. Hands to the ground. Now, the right foot steps back, runner's lunge. Lifting the chest into arrowhead, sweep the arms back. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. On this first round, we stay for an extra couple of breaths. So lift the hands, suck the belly in. Back leg is super firm for an extra breath here. And then lowering the back knee. Lift the chest, and it kind of feels like you push out of it for a sec. Squeeze your right butt cheek. But then sink the hips, keeping the chest lifted. 3 to 4 more long breaths now. Good. Arms up. Prayer touch above the head. Take that prayer behind the neck. Pinch the elbows. Squeeze the side of the head. Keep the breath regulated here. And twist. Hook your right elbow around the front knee. Now look into the floor. Don't rush it. Lift the back leg and straighten it out. Pushing into the prayer. So that prayer might feel like it moves more towards the middle of the chest and the chest comes up a little. Stay with that for an extra breath or two. Hands on the floor. Begin to straighten through your front leg into pyramid. And we'll just go through this one more time. Rebend the front knee. Lift the chest, arrowhead. Sweep the arms back. Interlacing hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders. Lift the fist, one breath. Drop the back knee. Keep the bind. Lift the chest. Inhale, arms up. Prayer touch behind the neck. Squeeze the elbows and twist. Hook the right elbow. Look down. Lift the back leg. Straighten out. Push into the prayer. Extra breath here. Hands on the floor. Pyramid. Straighten through the front leg and fold. Inhale, lunge. From here, this front foot, left foot, steps back up and over the right leg into wild thing. So set it outside the mat. Left hand comes up, lifting the chest, lifting the butt. One more big breath there. We take our time here. Stack the legs, side plank. Left forearm comes down, nice and slow. Turn the heels over next, and then raise the right hand up. Nice and stable. Hold here for an extra breath or two. Full forearm plank. 2 forearms down, then walk the feet in to dolphin pose. All right. Probably you don't want your dolphin to be the shortest dolphin you can cope with, but go ahead and raise the left leg up. We'll get this done straight away. High plank, knee to the nose, pull it in. Inhale, lift it up. Drop to forearms. High plank, knee to the nose. Drop to forearms, kick the leg up. Last one, knee to the nose. Now this time, keep the arms straight, kick the leg back. Drop the knees if you want. Chaturanga, half plank. Chest through, up dog. And down dog to lift the hips. Pretty straight away. Walk, step or jump to the top of the mat. Feet towards the hands. Couple of breaths there. Chilling out in the forward fold at the top of your mat. Let the heart rate drop a little bit, but it's a conscious dropping of the heart rate. You're breathing. So there's no doubt that you're applying effort. The challenging part here in the dynamic aspect of the practice is to keep that level of ease. And more than anything, we're looking for a mental ease, not a reactive mind, just an attentive one. Doing whatever we can to influence the effort of the posture to a place of equal ease. And so the tool is the breath. We'll just take 1 or 2 more. Bend the knees, roll up the spine, stand up, reach up, and exhale to very simply fold straight back down towards the ground. Now, as you step your left foot back, find crescent lunge. Raise the chest and arms up. Squeeze your left butt cheek nice and tight, the glute, and then eagle wrap your right arm underneath the left one. So in this movement we're about to do, don't let your belly move. Don't move from the hips either. All we're isolating is the upper back. So eagle wrap, right arm underneath the left one. Inhale, lift the elbows to the ceiling. Upper back bend. And then just curling the elbows kind of in towards your rib cage. Not your belly, your rib cage. 2 to go. Inhale, lift. There's a little bit of balance here, no doubt. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, in. This time, unwrap the arms, straighten through the front leg, reach up. And as you rebend the front knee, take that prayer behind your neck, like we've done. Drop the back knee down to the floor. And again, lift the chest. If you're feeling fairly comfortable, you can let your front knee come forward of the ankle just a touch. But where are we with the arms? Lifting the chest, you might lift the back foot up off the floor as if you're going to reach for the foot. I know it's a strong shape. Do your best with whatever variation's there. We've just got a breath or 2 more now. And very gently, nice hold there, I'm sure. Half Hanuman, straightening out through the front leg. Little release there. Couple of breaths. Keeping the front foot lifted here. Bring some tenderness into the shape. One more here now. Walk the hands forward, runner's lunge. Lift the back knee, spin the back heel down for warrior two. Open the arms, keep the bend of the front knee as you exalt the shape, right hand up and back. And then now as you reach forward, find triangle. So reach as far out as you can. Left hand down, right hand moving up. A little turn back on the chest here. Squeezing the back thigh nice and firmly. 2, maybe 3 more breaths. Inhale, stand, flip the front palm up and back, reverse the shape. And then back into warrior two, rebend the front knee. Now, interlace the hands behind the lower back, got to rejig the feet a little here. Heel toe the front foot out to the edge, thereabouts. Turn the back toes in, lift the chest, and then bow inside your front leg, lifting the hands up over the head. Now, not so long here. 3 big breaths, super short hold, go deep. Drop the head, lift the hands. 1 more breath now. Hands on the floor inside the front leg, lizard-ish lunge. So something that feels like it. Hug the front knee in here, puff the chest out, come up onto fingertips, get really long through the left side of your body. 1 more breath here. And just as we've done before, hands to the floor, wild thing direct. Right foot steps up and over the left. Turn the hips, elevate. Breath or 2 more there. And in 1 big step, right foot to the top of your mat. Right foot steps up and up into crescent lunge. Arms up. In 1 movement, sweep the arms back, arrowhead, and stand up, pulling the left knee in towards your chest. Once you come up, dancer's pose. So point the left knee down. Now I'm just going to throw out a little variation for today, maybe double-handed dancer as an option. Feel free to take either. I'll go through double-handed. In this one, roll back the shoulders, lift the chest, and kick into the palms. When you do this, you might bend your standing leg a little bit. You can bow forward a touch, but keep the knee lifting. Keep pressing the foot into the hands and lifting your left knee. Maybe 2 to 3 more steady and slow breaths here. Now without slingshotting your leg, release it somewhat through warrior 3, a T shape with the body, to then set the hands and the foot down on the floor. 3-leg dog will find a 3-leg flow. Right leg punches up, high plank, maybe 2 feet to the mat for chaturanga, low plank. Up dog, pull the chest through, and down dog to lift the hips. And as soon as you're in down dog, walk, step, or jump back to the top of the mat. Upper body softening, soothing, relaxing a little here. 3 to 4 more breaths now. Bend into the knees, roll up the spine. Stand up, reach up nice and big, and then folding straight back down towards the ground. Right foot now steps back, crescent lunge, arms up. Eagle wrap, left arm underneath the right one. Again, belly stays perfectly still here. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, curl the elbows round in the upper back. Inhale, lift. Keep your back leg strong. Exhale, curling in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, curl. This time, lift, unwrap the arms, straighten through the front leg. Rebend the front knee, prayer touch behind the neck, and lower the back knee all the way down to the floor. Adjust the stance a little, but as you're taking your prayer, drop the shoulders down. If and when you're ready, Lift the back foot, pulling it into the butt, lifting the chest here. Steady breathing, continue with that belly breath if you can. You've got a lot of energy in the upper body. Try and send some down, kind of towards the floor. Just a kind of visual in the mind. One more big breath here now. And as you release the back foot, half Hanuman, straightening through the front leg and folding forward. Really do try and keep your pinky toe lifted here, and we'll just stay for maybe 3 more breaths. Walk the hands forward, runner's lunge. Warrior 2 to follow. Back heel spins down, open the arms. Keep the bend in the front knee, flip and reverse, so left hand up and back. And as you reach forward, find triangle. So straightening through the front leg, left hand coming down, right hand moving up. Little turn back on the chest there. And we start to get into that nice regulated breath again. Keep your back leg really stable. The thigh squeezes, the butt squeezes. And the chest starts to turn up towards the ceiling a little. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, stand, flip the front palm up and back, reverse. And then back into warrior 2, bend the front knee, heel toe the front foot out to the edge of the mat, catch the hands behind the lower back hip turns forward, lift the chest, and bow deeply inside your front leg. So you want some width in your stance. 3 big breaths. Hands up, head down. Good. Stay with it. Back leg tight for 1 more big breath. Hands on the floor. Pick up the back heel. You're in lizard. Adjust the stance, but we're coming up onto fingertips. Make your back leg really straight and strong, and start to lift the chest a little here. Get some length through the right front body. 1 more big breath here now. Palms down, wild thing. Left foot up and over the right leg. Turn the hips. Lift the chest. Back of the heart lifts. Extra breath here. And 1 big step. Left foot up between the hands for crescent lunge. Arms up. Keep going. Arrowhead. Sweep the arms back. Stand up, right knee to the chest, up and in. So 1-handed dancer or double hand. So go for the double hand if you want. I'm going to go through the single hand this time. So right hand grabs the inside of the foot. The challenge with this one is to lift the knee and kick, but not necessarily your right hip rolling back. So as you kick, lift in the chest, lift the knee, roll the right hip down a little bit. We take 2 more big breaths wherever you're at. And without slingshotting, warrior 3, extend the leg out the back, T-shape, catch the balance, little wobbly, kick, 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 1 big breath, and into runner's lunge. Hands down, foot down. 3-leg dog finds a 3-leg flow. Left leg up, high plank to low plank, chaturanga. Up dog finds down dog, and from down dog, settling into just a kneeling position. Close down the eyes, let the heart rate settle. Regain control over the softness of your breath. It'll take a sec. Heart rate's all jacked up. We want to just bring things down a notch. In a way, kind of recharging the batteries, filling up the tanks. We want just a little reserve of energy here to give to coming towards Pincha Mayurasana. And in fact, while you settle, I might explain where we're going to go. So I think one of the most challenging aspects of this forearm balance is the entry to it. So we'll go through a few things, and I got a little trick that I think can help in just distributing your weight in order to get the feeling of the legs coming up over the head. So pincha, the forearms come down, and once you find arms at shoulder width apart, kind of roll your arms out. I hope you can see that. Maybe I'll turn towards the camera. If you roll your arms out, your skin or your bones lock into your skin. So you want that. So you're sort of pushing the elbows out in a way, but not moving the elbows on the floor. So you're kind of locked into your own skin. And then tucking the toes and lifting the hips. Now, so the whole trick of getting up into pincha is getting the hips coming above the shoulders. So when one leg comes up, the weight is relatively stacked above that kind of pivot point of the shoulders or the elbows. So obviously that's very difficult and limiting in our flexibility for a lot of us. The hamstrings, the back of the legs, clearly the shoulders, the lower back, in fact the entire back chain of the body can be really difficult. And then the lift itself is a lot of power from the glute, core power. So, take it easy on yourself. This shit takes some time, right? So as you tuck the toes and lift the hips, walk the feet in, and now commonly we try and draw the chest back, and that's true for the top of the shape, but here's the trick. I think to get into the shape, if I pull my chest back and I walk my feet in, this is about as far as I can walk my feet in, right? That's it. Now if I bring my chest forward here and round my upper back a little, I can walk my feet in more, good extra couple of inches, and then lifting one leg up, that few inches I can walk in more brings my body weight forward and therefore into my shoulders. And I want that. I want that work to be done with this powerful set of muscles in the shoulders. So here's the trick. Walk it in. Bring the chest forward a little, but round your upper back like the angry cat position from cat-cow. And then one leg comes up. Next trick, as you're kicking up, try and think of the top heel kicking for the ceiling, not over your head towards the top of the mat. It's a subtle difference and more of a psychological one, but you'll feel a different level of control. I can't stress it enough. The top leg has to be pretty stiff and straight. Stiff and straight. So your glute is going to do the work, your butt cheek. So we'll go through again, and if you haven't started practicing, give it a go now. Walk the feet in, move the chest forward, walk them in again, and then the right leg comes up, keeping it stiff. Little pops off the back leg, but again, it's that feeling of trying to lift the heel to the ceiling, not kick over the head and get momentum. For me, it feels like as the top heel goes up, I'm pushing harder into my arms, so my entire body extends from my elbows, through my arms, through my shoulders, through my spine, through my hips, into my legs, up for the ceiling. So the lift isn't just coming from the leg, but from the entire body, energetically an upward movement. So you feel your shoulders make little adjustments as you create that power, that pushing position with the rounded shoulders. Do both sides. I hope you've had a fair bit of time to have a play with that. I'll go through a couple more little things as you're going, and hopefully we can refine. So as you're walking in, chest comes forward a bit more, shoulders load up a bit more, top leg lifts, and as you're coming up with the leg, the other heel might click in, very controlled, but then sort of pulling the chest back once you've caught some amount of balance at the top. You could do it when the top leg is lifting. So what we start to create is this kind of momentum. If I can explain this part, when the top leg lifts, the chest pulls back. I'm exaggerating here, but hopefully you can get an idea of it. Now, if you're going to do that, don't go crazy with it. You generate quite a lot of momentum. So go very gently with that. Maybe a wall is helpful at that stage. I don't recommend using a wall all the time. It becomes a crutch very quickly. But it's good to have just a little taste of the shape, right? You get a feel for, oh, that's scary going upside down. These are new things that are happening. So use the wall for that, but try not to get good at using the wall. Use it just as a device to help you as a stepping stone. I reckon your shoulders might be exhausted after this much practice of Pincha, but I'll go through one more time, really breaking it down. Walking, shoulders come forward, round through your upper back, push, that's protraction. Top leg lifts, strong and stiff, up for the ceiling, chest pulls back a little as you're controlling that. Notice my shoulders aren't moving that much. They're pretty locked up, tight, pushing, slow, easy movement. I hope that helps. I think that's enough, isn't it? It's enough for me. Let's go ahead and come down into a belly position onto the floor, lying flat on your front. And, oh, good Lord. Pretty immediately from there, coming into our shoulder roll. So right arm out to the side, hand in line with your shoulder, and then rolling onto your right side, stepping the foot outside the mat or outside the knee, and then just sort of settling into that shape. I won't stay for too long in this one, but can be super nice after the shoulders have done such a service here. Alrighty, coming out of that shape nice and slow. Rolling down onto the other side fairly immediately, extending the left arm and rolling over onto the hip. As you get into the shape, really let that top hip flop out to the side. Your right hip, your right knee are just getting heavy out to the side. There's an aspect of twist in this shape, so keeping the belly soft can really help. So as you exhale with that soft belly, the hip and knee just sort of drop a little deeper into it. They got some body weight with gravity. Just a little handful of breaths left here. Really kind of slowing down the pace now of the breath. Heart rate isn't quite so high. Practice isn't quite so dynamic. So there's a bit of a shift of quality of attention. We'll go through that in just a moment. Just take a couple more breaths here. And gently starting to roll out of that shape nice and slow. Coming all the way out. Once you're there, take a breath or two, make sure the shoulders feel comfortably adjusted, and then pushing back into tabletop position, all fours. Once you're there, tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog, and coming up into half pigeon. So the right shin sliding up behind the wrists onto the floor. Chest lifts a moment. You're super prepared for mermaid if you want to practice that, welcome to. Otherwise, bringing the chest forward and down, softening in. Not the longest pigeon of all time, so settle the shoulders, relax the jaw. And so an interesting shift in the practice where it's not quite so powerful and dynamic. There's more emphasis on softness. More emphasis on being ultra attentive, much more intricate in your awareness of the body. So again, we're finding a balance between effort and ease. In a sense here, ease is certainly a priority, and your breath is helping to create that. But now the effort within the posture itself might be a little bit different. The effort isn't so much a physical one, but rather a kind of mental one. The power of your will to stay centered within your own body, attentive to the posture, as sort of, tedious, mundane as it might be. You're still looking to experience your body in this posture, in this moment, as familiar as it is or as unfamiliar, as comfortable or uncomfortable. You're here in the body, not missing the opportunity to be with yourself in the posture. Immersive attention, self-soothing, guiding the breath, steadying the mind. Just a couple more here. Lifting up the chest. A little tricky on the transition here. Bring your back leg, your left knee, up to the side of your mat. Roll out the calf there. And then it's almost there already. The right foot comes inside your left thigh. Right foot inside your left thigh. So there's a couple of options here. We're going to take a twist. Turn to your right as a first option. Left hand to the right thigh, right hand behind the lower back and prop up the chest. But if you want to try the half lotus, placing the right foot into the left hip crease, and still turn to the right, left hand on the thigh, and you might be able to reach a bind there, catching the big toe. If not, let's stay with the twist, keeping the lower back lifted, right shoulder rolling back. 2 to 3 more breaths here. Vertical spine, not leaning back or to the right. Vertical spine. 1 more breath now. And then as you turn the chest back through to center, release your left leg out in front of you. So rock onto your right hip. Kick it out. Give it a little shake if you need to. Make sure the knee is comfortably adjusted. And still with the right foot inside the left leg. Lift the left toes. Scoot your sitting bones back and we come towards a forward fold. So arms and chest lift to then bow over the front leg. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the neck. I'm just kind of sweetening up the breath there a little bit as you arrive. So initially you get through that first layer of superficial tension, the jaw, the shoulders, the eyes. And suddenly you're here in your body, aware, attentive, and working with it. Settling your breathing. Keeping a kind of witness state of mind, not reactive. 3 to go here. Inhale, chest lifts up, reverse tabletop, hands just behind the hips, 2 feet on the floor, roll back the shoulders and scoop the hips up. Really keep a little bend in the elbows, but push the chest through the shoulders, squeeze your butt and tilt your tailbone forward. Take 2 to 3 more breaths here. And release, coming down. Coming into the other side of half pigeon. You could enter from here, just bending your left knee, swinging the right leg back. If that doesn't feel very nice, come back through down dog. You can take it slow if you want. I'm going to jump straight in from here. Lifting the chest, and then bringing the chest out and down. Mermaid, welcome again. And we settle in. So remember, the effort is in your will to stay centered within the posture. The ease is generated from your application of the breath. Soft, slow, smooth. Maybe just 3 to 4 more deep, slow breaths here. Settling into the hips, so creating a kind of heaviness and surrender at the hips. Breath or 2 more now. And then lifting up the chest. Bringing the right knee up to the right side of the mat, rolling out the calf. And then left foot inside that right thigh, turning to your left. Half lotus or the bind is welcome. Catch a hold of your left thigh, left hand behind the lower back, chest lifted, lower back lifted. And then really leading the twist with your left shoulder, not your chin. So left shoulder rolls back. Neck is fairly relaxed, even though it might be in a bit of a mild twist, sort of gazing to the back left corner of the mat or something like that. Again, it's not about the strain of the neck. Upper back is twisting. 2, maybe 3 more breaths. And back through to center. So rocking onto your left hip, taking the right leg straight, give the knee a rest, and then line it up. So right foot, right leg straight out in front of you, left foot inside of it, toes up, arms up, and then fold straight over the front leg there, bowing down. Once you're in, let the left shoulder drop a little. Let your breathing settle. It's nice to think of the breath in the lower back here. It just creates a little more expansion into the belly. Breath or 2 more now. Inhale, chest lifts. Skip the reverse tabletop this time. Bend your knees, roll down onto your back, and as soon as you arrive on your back, pretty immediately into bridge. So feet on the floor, it's just going to be 1 round. So if you want to practice wheel, feel free. Feet on the floor, hip width apart, tilt the tailbone up, and then lift the hips up. Once you lift, maybe hands next to the ears, press the chest up and back into wheel. But in either case, squeeze your butt. Try and tilt your tailbone forward, so kind of like you're scooping the butt up, but then pull the belly in and lift the chest. Belly in, lift the chest. There should be this whole bunch of tension and stability around your belly, your lower back, your butt cheeks, your thighs, in fact your entire core, which runs kind of like a corset all the way down to your thighs. We'll take maybe 3 more breaths here. Try and slow down the exhale, especially if you're in wheel. And monster hold there. Good one. Release. Coming down. Dropping the knees a couple of times from side to side. And then taking an eagle wrap on your legs. Right leg wraps over the left. Hips scooch over to the right. And then knees over to the left. Open up the right shoulder here. You might encourage your legs down a little bit with the left hand, sort of deepening the twist, but make sure there's an equal sensitivity within the body. You're not just trying to force the body externally. There's some level of surrender within the body as well. Inhale back through center. Left leg wraps over the right one. Hips to the left, legs to the right. Two to three more breaths, yeah. Back through the center. Catch happy baby for a moment and feel free to do anything else you want before Shavasana, but as a suggestion, you certainly don't have to, but as a suggestion for Shavasana, you might come into legs up the wall pose. So you'd head over to your own wall. And one way to get into it is to kind of sit or lie up against the side of the wall like I am here. And then as you send your legs up, you turn your butt towards the wall. Oh, I've gone too close. And then kind of settle into it there, finding yourself in either a wide-legged position or legs straight up if you want them to be. But good old-fashioned Shavasana works just as well. Come down to laying flat. Especially after a practice that's quite heavy. It's quite strenuous for the shoulders, especially here. We need to balance out all of that effort of the practice with a great deal of ease here. So really giving yourself the time and space here to rest. One of the most important things about Shavasana is that inside your head, you decide that this is a priority, that rest is a priority. Probably don't need to go into why, but just sort of setting that little intention for this moment, this little purpose or this motivation, this motive, is going to make a massive difference to the way that you get into this posture and experience this posture. This rest is something to be experienced. So just attentive to the feeling of stillness, this feeling of energy tapering off within the body, a general sense of quietness. You're free of responsibilities for a few minutes here. Give yourself this time, this special gift to consciously rest. You're aware, you're awake. Give yourself at least 5 minutes, more if you can. I'm going to love you and leave you. I say namaste to you. I appreciate your support and I'll see you next time.